For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. The verses of the Gospel of Mark had never been truly prophesied until now, during what today's society will call a humanitarian and social catastrophe. As children of the modern world, we as humans have never experienced such a concept with great relevance as COVID-19. The coronavirus has infected more than 3.85 million people since November 2019 and claimed 270,000 deaths worldwide. What started as a silent virus in China's Wuhan province has quickly brought the planet to its knees. Hello everyone, my name is Binu, and today in my speech I shall be addressing the topic that has been dominating our minds today. What does the coronavirus pandemic mean for the world, and what does the future behold? Also, what can we, as descendants of Tyne, do to reciprocate the effects of the virus? Today, I shall be focusing on three aspects of the coronavirus: the effects it has on economy, education, and society. Throughout history, the main villain in the movie of humanity has always been a deadly disease. From the Black Plague in 1342 to the Spanish flu in 1918, the human race has always been vulnerable to a natural force out of our control. Or so we believe. Believe it or not, one of the main causes of COVID-19 was human carelessness. We live our lives unexamined. Even now, as the virus rages on, many people are still gathering in groups and increasing the likelihood of developing the virus. These mindless actions can have deadly effects on our lives. Firstly, what does the pandemic mean for the workers of private organisations and our economic destinies? The drop in employment is faster than anything we have ever experienced. Entire sectors of the economy are shut down. The peak of the economic crisis in the UK saw 7,000 extra average daily claims to job seekers allowance and over 2 million new claims to the benefits since mid-March. 6.3 million workers have been put off work as of May, but this does not necessarily mean that the conditions for current workers are any better. Take, for example, the NHS. Due to staff sicknesses, many frontline workers are placed in unfamiliar environments to support the mass volume of corona cases. This includes eye surgeons being placed in corona wards. The social impact of these actions is the detrimental effect it has on doctors' physical and mental well-being. The sheer conditions of this pandemic mean that many doctors are vulnerable to the disease, especially due to the lack of protective equipment. Furthermore, only 36% of NHS workers believe that the government is taking actions to support their mental health. Ever since COVID-19 became such a buzzword in the UK, thousands of junior doctors, nurses, specialist carers, etc. have admitted to developing anxiety, stress, and suicidal tendencies in the pressures they've been placed in. Economically, lockdown is facing huge problems for society. In simpler terms, we face a mass recession. The concept is easy. If businesses cannot sell and make profit, there is a high chance of them introducing unemployment. This process further develops into a whirlwind of mass economic depression. Moving on, what does this lockdown mean for students like me? As of 27th April 2020, approximately 1.725 billion learners are currently affected due to school closures in response to the pandemic. An entire generation of students are in utter confusion right now, not knowing what this pandemic means for them. However, I believe, as fellow UKKCA members, this is a time to reach out for our Knanai roots. As brothers and sisters, we as the youth of today must reach out for one another and support each other. We must use this precious time to not only learn about our history, but also evaluate what being Kana means to us really. By doing this, we can appreciate the position we hold once lockdown is over. Finally, lockdown has caused many racial, societal and peer tensions within our society. which we must object. Right now, we live in a time where men shall strike upon each other, and they are justified by both political and societal causes. Despite being in a quarantine, we must remember that the UK still has a thriving civil society, free media, and an independent judiciary. Then why is there still a lack of accountability for abusive practices violating human rights? Let me put this into perspective. In Texas, a Burmese family of 4 was stabbed outside their home. In just the month of April 2020, there are 1,716 cases of hate crimes against Asian Americans in Los Angeles. These are just the reported cases. In fact, one of the main discriminatory offences presented to the world was when President Trump insisted on calling the coronavirus the Chinese virus. What has this earth come to? We must remember that in this quarantine, men from different factions and backgrounds are suffering from the same angst. Brotherhood isn't something we are forced to be part of. It is a choice made by us. In our very own school pledge, we promise that all Indians are our brothers and sisters. But why does that only have to apply for Indians only? As members of one community, we must treat everybody, despite their race, religion or background, as our brothers and sisters. In AD 345, our ancestors, although treated with some prejudice, were quickly welcomed into the Malayali civilization. This is exactly what we need to teach our children right now. Spread of social values such as love, peace and secularism can certainly navigate people to the right way to reach the goal of national integration. In conclusion, although we face mass hysteria right now, we must encourage people to do welfare contribution and prosper peace in the world. Despite the many doubts and fears we have, we must reach out and use this time to learn about our heritage and spend time with the ones we love. I especially want to thank the UKKCA committee for giving me this opportunity and keeping people active while they're stuck in their homes. From the Women's Forum to the mission prayer statements. Let us join our hands with those of our siblings around the world. Keep safe and remember to wash your hands. Thus, I conclude my speech.